What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Eric here, also known as Eric's Photos. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 70-200. Now, I've owned this lens for about 8 to 9 months now. I got it in May of 2023. And the version that I have is the Sony 70-200 GM Mark II 2.8. In my opinion, this lens has been easily the most important purchase of my creative career. Realizing that what I was using at the time, which was a Sigma 85 1.4, it was good and it was getting the job done, but I knew that if I wanted to maximize the quality in which I'm producing for all my clients, that the 70-200 was going to be the move. I've always known in the back of my head the 70-200 is like the lens for sports photography and videography. And if I was looking to expand and get more roles and work with like colleges or just professional level and professional scale work, that purchasing a 70-200 was going to be the move. This lens is, as you guys may or may not know, it's a hefty purchase. This lens right here, it's not cheap. But the reason being is because it's many reasons actually. Now, I don't know the full details in terms of how much it weighs, but with the Mark II, it's much lighter than the Mark I. The autofocus is much quicker. I don't have a comparison because I don't have the Mark I, but with all of the comparisons I was watching online and seeing for sports stuff and photo and video, the autofocus is so much quicker on here. You don't really have to worry about missing a shot. Now, in what I do, a lot of basketball stuff, football, and now I'm gonna be diving into baseball and whatnot. Autofocus for photos, you gotta be quick. Your lenses and camera body need to be quick, so you do not miss those moments. Because in sports, as you guys should know, you need a fast shutter speed, and you need to be able to be quick to get those moments. Because if as soon as you're not looking or you're not paying attention, or if you're trying and you're missing focus, it's not gonna be good. Like, you're gonna miss those moments, and that's not gonna result in a good outcome. I know I'm mentioning that I do sports stuff, but my main thing is also portrait photography. That's what Eric's Photos is. It's portrait photography. And with that, that's another reason why I went and purchased this lens, was because I knew that going forward with all of my future portrait shoots, like grad shoots and just brand shoots and whatever, people book me for portraits and whatnot, that this lens would be huge. And yeah, it's exactly that. It's been great. So what's been great about this lens is that this past fall I got booked for my first few engagement photo shoots, and with that, these are surprise shoots. So being from distance and just having this ready, it was perfect. And literally, I have no complaints about this lens. The only thing that people may not like about it when you first get it is the weight, but it makes sense. And once you realize how much lighter this is than the Mark I, and also the 5.6, the one with the wider aperture. I don't know if it's a 4.5 or a 5 aperture. It might be an f4, but I know that one's heavier too. I've seen that one, and I've actually tried using it a little bit. Weight plays a big factor. What I've been realizing is that the weight of a lens is actually really important to me. It may not be important to everyone, but for all the sports stuff I do, I'm at these games that go for hours on end, and I'm here filming like two hands here, or I'm taking a photo and I'm like this, I got my camera here. Holding this is not that light, but it's also not too heavy, because again, it is the lighter option. And having that lighter option makes it much easier on you. Your arms, your shoulders, whatever, aren't gonna get as tired. Another reason, one of the main reasons I purchased this lens was, so I purchased it right after I ended my grad season. As you guys may or may not know, I do grad shoots literally every spring. This is probably I think my 4th or 5th year now. And right after that, dove into summer, and I knew I was gonna be doing a lot of basketball stuff. So purchased this, and I just instantly see the change and how much better the quality of the photos and the videos that I was taking got. Just having that variety anywhere between 70 to 200 is huge, because before, all I was used to was 85. Within summer though, I knew that going into the college I'm at right now, Sac State, I wanted to get more involved within sports, whether it be, for one team or across all sports. And I didn't really know exactly how I was gonna do that, but I knew that was the goal. Now, towards the end of summer, I figured out kind of how I can get into all that, and I started interning. Right when the school started interning with the athletics department. And through all of that, I was quick to just be shooting football and basketball and a little bit of soccer, and I'm getting thrown around everywhere. And the common thing was this lens was in literally every single sports game and match that I have done. I worked football season. That was my first time, by the way, ever shooting any football stuff. And I shot every single game with this lens. And I'll throw some photos on the screen, and you can just see the quality, such sharp images. The 200 was clutch because at some football games, you can't obviously get on the field. I mean, you're close, you're kind of around the borders, and there's limits to where you can and can't stand. But having the 200, it's a lifesaver. You don't have to worry about being literally right there. You have some distance, zoom in at 200, and you'll be good. And when I shoot video with the Sony a7 IV, I'm shooting 4K 60, so it's cropped. So 200 is already, it's perfect. And I can put some video clips on the screen with that. That to me, that just was the full circle moment to where I was this has been easily the best purchase of my creative career. It's just for me, getting this lens literally just leveled up all of my sports stuff, because as I mentioned earlier, yes, I was doing some basketball stuff, but portraits are my main thing. And as soon as I got this lens, my sports stuff just took off in terms of the quality for photos and videos and the opportunities it's brought. And it keeps growing because I use this lens so much. And this lens elevates your work. And even in my portrait stuff, I also put some stuff on the screen, but my portrait stuff has been growing as well, and I'm getting more bookings for that. And guess what? 95% of the time, I'm using this lens. If I'm not using this lens, I'll throw on the 35 for some wide angles for different perspectives. But this right here, you have got to get this lens smooth. Turning on this is very smooth. It's not clunky at all. In sports, in my perspective, I have to be quick in any circumstance. Photo or video, I have to be quick zooming in and out, especially if for basketball games, because I'll be right by the hoop. As soon as they get there for a layup, I go from about 200 to 70 quick. Just zoom out, get the shot. I would say having the ability to have 2.8 aperture is great. Obviously, it's not needed in every single circumstance, but I like having the option to have it. I found it really key when doing sports video stuff. I'm usually always on 2.8 for basketball or football and whatnot. Zooming in and out is smooth on this. Internal zoom is also just great. I just enjoy it. I've seen the external zooms, and not my preference personally. I'd say another thing is it being lighter. It's not as heavy as the older versions, the Mark 1s. And a key thing with the Mark 2 compared to the Mark 1 is it's better autofocus. I don't know exactly what they fixed to make it better, but I remember watching all the comparison videos, and it was a very big difference in terms of, especially video, I noticed in the comparisons I've seen. So what I can say is, if you're serious about doing sports stuff, or just in general, you just want to get a 7200, get the Sony 7200 Mark II and get the 2.8. With that being said, I hope this video was helpful. That's just kind of my takeaways from using this for about 8 to 9 months now on pretty much anything I shoot. I hope you guys did enjoy. With that being said, I will see you in the next one.